Kendrick Bourne from the San Francisco 49ers. You're watching the Niners All Day Show. What up, Bronze? What up, Dre? Let's get it, man. Yee!
Yo, what's going on with the faithful out there, man? This is your boy Fran 49er, aka Dre Berry, and this is Niners All Day. I really want to say, man, thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Thank you to all the Patreon members. We finally passed 1,000 subscribers. It took us a total of 89 days, right? So we've been putting in work. We didn't think it was going to happen that fast, but people just caught on, and we definitely appreciate everybody who supports us, man. It means the world to me and Bronze and everybody else who has made Niners All Day what it is today. And without you guys, it wouldn't be right. The supporters are the ones who make it something, right? And the faithful are the ones who make us, a good platform to go to for 49ers information and to create great content. I called it Freestyle Tuesday because I didn't necessarily create any type of content. I wrote a few things down, but I usually create a lot of content and write down the subjects that we want to speak on. And today we're just going to bounce around. The first thing that I want to talk about is the injuries, because we've piled up a lot of injuries, and I want to kind of compare it to some other teams. So hopefully people won't think that it's so bad, because if you look at the Cleveland Browns, their entire secondary is down. Their entire secretary. You talk about Grant Delpit. He just tore his AC. He just tore. I think he ruptured his Achilles. You talk about. I think they have Denzel Ward. He's down. He's going to be down 6 to 8 weeks. Their other starting corner, he's going to be down. I think he lacerated his spleen. So it's not necessarily that bad. We got DJ Jones back today, so everything will be okay, guys. But we're going to talk about these injuries first. The first one, of course, is Jalen Hurd. We know what happened to Jalen Hurd, right? Towards ACL. Everybody thought it was cramps, including me. I was one of those people that said it was just cramps. That's what was reported at first, and come to find out, he actually tore his ACL. So I hope you get better, Jalen. Ben Garland, he's out with the ankle. Let's talk about Ben Garland for a second. Everybody's asking, are we going to sign another guard or center? No, there's no reason to. And you know why we haven't done it yet? It's because Ben Garland is going to be back for the beginning of the season. If he wasn't, John Lynch would have already bought in another guard or a center. You know what I mean? He's done it with every other position. Hell, he brought in Jonathan Cyprien, and we don't even need another safety, but he brought him in, right? He did the same thing with the wide receivers. He brought in 3 more wide receivers today to work out. Also brought in another tight end. I don't know what that was about, because Jordan Reed actually practiced today, and he did a damn good job. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but to go back to Ben Garland, Ben Garland's going to be ready for the season, and that's why we haven't brought in another guard and a center. So hopefully Ben Garland is back. I think Ben Garland will be back before the start of the season, or else they would have brought in another guy. DJ Jones, he had a concussion. Everybody thought it was a shoulder, because that's what was reported at first. Come to find out, his shoulder was okay. The MRI was inconclusive. There was no damage to his shoulder. He probably had a stinger, and he came back today and he balled out. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Nick Bosa, they did an MRI. He has a quad, right? So it's his leg. They're probably going to shut him down for the rest of training camp, get some good conditioning, probably ride the bike, do some sprints on the sideline, and get him ready for game 1. And with that being said, we have D Ford. D Ford, he tweaked his calf. They say he's day-to-day. So that's a good thing, right? It could be out for, 3 to 4 weeks, like it was against the Saints, where he tried to come back and play, and 3 plays later he was out and he didn't come back to the playoffs, right? So that's good to hear that D Ford is day-to-day. Brandon Aiyuk, he tweaked his hamstring, so they're probably shutting him down for the rest of training camp, and he's week to week. K'Wan Williams down with the calf. They haven't came out and said how long he's going to be out, but Tarvarius Moore is looking pretty good at nickel. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. We're going to go over what happened today at camp, who had a good day, and a few people who had a bad day. But I just want to talk about the positive today. No negativity. Had a long day at work. We just want to talk about the positive today. Ross Dwelly, he has a foot injury. They're saying he's week to week, so he's probably shut down. But luckily, we have Jordan Reed. Debo Samuel's his foot. But if you guys seen a tweet, Debo was sprinting. It looked like he was running his 40 for the combine, and he was pretty much moving. So it looks like Debo is going to try to come back before week 1. I would not doubt it. Ross Reynolds, shouts out to Ross Reynolds, man. I hope you get better. He had a season-ending injury. He had to get carted off the field. The players stopped practice while Ross Reynolds was getting carted off the field. They haven't came out and said exactly what happened, but it's looking like it's season ending, and I hope that Ross Reynolds he gets better as soon as possible, man. That really sucks because Ross Reynolds is one of those guys who has been on the practice squad, who has battled through some injuries, who's worked his tail off to come and try to make this 53-man roster, and then he gets injured, right? So that really sucks. I hope you get better, Ross Reynolds. Let's talk about what happened in training camp today. So the first person who I'm the most excited about is Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed caught a 15-yard pass from C.J. Beathard. Also, he beat Jaquazi Tart on both one-on-ones. He caught a quick out route, and he also caught a go route, which would have been a touchdown. He's looking really good. He's really athletic. He's the best route running tight end on the team. I love George Kittle, but he doesn't run routes like this guy. Go check out Grant Cohn's video. He even said that he's the best route running tight end on the field. I think that we will start off the season going with 22 personnel a lot, and I think that can give teams problems. Jordan Reed in his rare form and George Kittle will give defenses fits. So I'm hoping that's what the plan is, especially if we're going to be missing Aiyuk and Debo. But like I said, I think Debo comes back, and Aiyuk is week to week. They're shutting him down, so he'll probably be ready for week 1. Jaquazi Tart, even though he got smacked by Jordan Reed, he broke up a pass that was intended for Kittle in one-on-ones. He also had 2 PBUs in the red zone against Jimmy G in the ones. He also, he had a pretty good day. He also could have had an interception. It hit him right in his hands, and it dropped to the ground. So, Kwasi, you got to work on that, bro. If the ball hits you in your hands, we need you to catch that. We need turnovers this year, and you're going to be a big part of that. You're also in your contract year, right? But it's good to see that he's playing good in one-on-ones against Jimmy. It's also good to see that he's breaking up passes in the red zone because that prevents a touchdown. So I'm happy to hear that. But Jordan Reed gave him the business all day today. He couldn't handle it. That just shows how good Jordan Reed is. Let's go to Tarvarius Moore. Tarvarius Moore, he has been playing the nickel, and he's filling in for K'Wan Williams. He had a PBU in the red zone against Jordan Reed, right? And against Charlie Warner, he also had a PBU in the red zone. He looks to fill that nickel position. He's playing really good right now in the nickel position. So Tarvarius Moore, he is showing himself to be somebody who could play multiple positions in the defensive backfield. And you know how Kyle Shanahan is. You know how Robert Saleh is. They love guys who are multifaceted and who could play different positions in the defense and in the offense. J.J. Nelson, he came out of nowhere today. They obviously trust J.J. Nelson more than they trust Dante Pettis because he was running with the ones today. He caught 4 passes in team drills. He beat Sherm for out route for a 10-yard slant, and he also beat Spoon on the long route. Spoon, it's not looking too good for you right now. You're getting torched by somebody who just came to the team. But Spoon actually had a good day. He just couldn't handle J.J. Nelson. Not much people will be able to handle J.J. Nelson, especially in this offense because he runs a 4-2, right? He's a speed guy. Hopefully, he makes the team. Kyle Shanahan will know how to use this guy. Let's go to Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings caught his first pass of camp from Jimmy Garoppolo in team drills, and it was a touchdown in the red zone. Shouts out to Juwan Jennings. He's one of those guys who I have actually making the team. I think we're going to keep 7 wide receivers this year, and you're going to be one of those guys. So shouts out to Juwan Jennings. Let's go to DJ Jones. DJ Jones gave Tom Compton the business, not business. We're going to say business. Bidnezz. We're going to split it up. You know what I'm talking about? Gave him the business on one-on-ones. Bullied him. I'm worried about Tom Compton. I hope he really doesn't start at the guard position. I really hope he doesn't. I know Kyle Shanahan loves his guys who already knows the system, but Tom Compton is horrible. Word is from Grant Cohn that Tom Compton is worse than Colton McKivitz. And Colton McKivitz is a rookie who played tackle. He also played guard, but he played his last year at tackle at Western Virginia, and they're turning him back into a guard. He's versatile. So that's not good. You're a 5-6 year vet, Tom Compton, and you're getting bullied by DJ Jones. But DJ Jones is good though, right? He also was playing defensive back today. DJ Jones just split it up. He had an interception. He had an interception that was tipped. The pass was from Nick Mullins, and it was tipped about 20 feet in the air. The pass was intended for Dante Pettis. It was tipped 20 feet in the air. DJ Jones caught it, and he ran the ball like a running back. He had a day. Doesn't seem like that concussion had any effect on DJ Jones at all. He didn't miss a step. That's what I heard. So shout out to DJ Jones. You doing your thing. Tom Compton, you need to step it up. Emmanuel Mosley, he tipped a deep pass to Jonathan Cyprien, and Jonathan Cyprien picked it off. Cyprien has his second pick of camp after being with the team for only 5 practices. He has tied Richard Sherman for the most INTs in the camp. 2 in 5 days. What does that tell you? He was a good signing. I don't know what Jaquasi Tart is asking for, but if Cyprien is really that good of a player, Jaquasi, better watch out, because there's somebody in that defensive backfield who's actually catching the passes that hit him in his hands. That's all I got to say. I don't know what more to say. So Cyprien looks like a good signing, really good signing. Spoon, I got on you earlier, but Spoon had a good day. He broke up a pass from Jimmy G to KB. He got to start with the ones today. They didn't start Jason Verrett. So, shout out to you, Spoon. You actually made a play today. And it was his first PBU of camp. Not in one-on-ones, but 11 on 11. He's had some PBUs on one-on-ones, but in 11 on 11, this was his very first, one and only PBU. So shout out to Spoon. We did something on 11 on 11s. Let's see. Warner, he broke up multiple passes to George Kittle in the red zone. Grant Cohn said that that Fred Warner is looking just as good as George Kittle, especially in the red zone. He has the most PBUs for all of the linebackers, which is 4 in training camp. That's pretty damn good. Raheem Mostert had the day off, but don't worry. Jeffrey Wilson Jr., he had a touchdown in the red zone, caught it from Jimmy G. Shout out to Jeffrey Wilson Jr. You know what I'm saying? El Jefe is his nickname. JaMycal Hasty, he continues to show up. JaMycal Hasty beat Dre Greenlaw in one-on-ones for a tutty. It was a go route. It was a long route. He went long. Smoked him. Greenlaw couldn't keep up. But I don't think that means anything. You know what I mean? JaMycal Hasty's probably just a faster player than Dre Greenlaw. We can't hold that against him. Dre Greenlaw is great. He's a great talent. I'm happy that we picked him from Arkansas. But JaMycal Hasty gave him all that he could want for. That's what it is. Josh Hokett, the guy who could possibly be being taught by Juszczyk to take the reins, caught a touchdown in the red zone from Jimmy G. And he came head-to-head with Quan Alexander and somehow found his way into the end zone. Man, shout out to Josh Hokett. Josh Hokett is a very talented athlete. This man was ranked in the top 10 in national rankings for wrestlers also. So he wasn't just a football player. He was also a wrestler. So that means his conditioning is at A1. To be a wrestler, you have to have A1 condition. Let's talk about Solomon Thomas for a second. So due to the injuries to Nick Bosa and D Ford, Solomon Thomas has been switched back to defensive end. I don't know about that, right? He came in and he had his interview about 2 days ago, and he said he was really enjoying being able to play at the 3 technique, which is the position that he was drafted to play. And now he's having to play back on the edge because we have injury problems. I really feel bad for Solomon Thomas. I think he'll get it together, though. Hopefully, by time for week 1, he'll be back at the 3 technique. We'll have D Ford and Nick Bosa back, and everything will be okay. I feel bad for Solomon Thomas. Now we're going to talk about the not so good. Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins threw his 5th pick today. He's thrown 5 picks in camp. So that's not looking too good. Although he's completed 74% of his passes, he has thrown his 5th pick today. And the weird thing is he was 8 of 9 today. And that 9th pass, It was a pick. So that's what we have going on. Also, we brought in Eric Swoop. He's another tight end. Played for the Colts. I looked at his stats. He really isn't eye popping. I don't know what the reason is. It's probably because Roster Willie is down and he might be down for a couple of weeks. So they're just bringing another guy in, or maybe he's a camp body. They also worked out 3 more wide receivers today. So, John Lynch is working. I don't know what is going on as far as the injuries, but they're saying guys are day to day and week to week. If you count today, what is today? Today is the 25th. So we got 25th, 26th, 27th. So let's count down the days until the first game. And we'll see how many days we got until we start the season. Okay, so we have 6 more days in this month. And then the first game is on the 13th. So we have a total of 19 days. So I think that's enough time for guys to get treatment, for guys to get healthy and be back and ready. But, I guess Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch just want to see some more guys in camp and see if they could possibly make this team, or push some other guys to make this team, or just fill roster spots so the quarterbacks can have somebody to go to. Because we don't have Debo, we don't have Aiyuk, we're down Jalen Hurd, and Richie James was hurt before training camp even started. So that's 4 wide receivers. 4 wide receivers who were possibly most likely going to make the team. Jalen Hurd, Debo Samuel, Aiyuk was just drafted. So those guys were on the team for sure. Everybody was excited about Jalen Hurd, and I was too. He's a physical specimen. He's pretty good at route running, but just his sheer size. And when you watch his highlights, like, this guy catches the ball and he gets He gets yards after the catch, right? And he gets yards after the contact. And then, Richie James, which he was probably the guy that was like a 6 or a 7 spot, but he's been in the system for 3 years. I think he's going on his 4th year or his 3rd year, one of those. I can't remember exactly, but when you know the system, you've been in it for a while. And the thing about Richie James is when he gets in the game, he doesn't make any mistakes, right? He doesn't drop passes. Every time he plays, he makes plays. He only had 7 receptions last year, but he had 165 yards at a touchdown. That's 26.5 yards of reception. So every time Richie James touches the ball in the passing game, he makes a play. He was also top 10 in pass and punt and kick returns, right? He was ranked 10th in yards per kick return and punt return. And he never fumbles the ball. So he's somebody that's dependable and he knows the system. So being down 4 wide receivers that you were possibly going to depend on, who were going to make the team for sure, is a tough thing. So I understand exactly why John Lynch, when I say he, will bring in some more guys to try out for the team and to have some workouts. Let's go through some of these comments. I was supposed to have Jason on today, but he had I guess everybody is having their fantasy drafts. That's kind of weird because mine's isn't until Saturday at 5. So I guess every league is different. Also, Tony, my guy Tony from NBN, I was going to have him on, but he has his draft too. So I guess it's like National Fantasy Draft Day. So let's go through some of the comments and see if anybody has any questions. Oh, while I was saying that, guess who popped in?
Yeah, Trey, what's up, bro?
What's happening with you, bro? How you doing, my guy?
Yo, sorry guys that I'm late. Football season is in full swing. Just finished my fantasy football pod, trying to make everything happen, but it's an exciting time right now, man. We are 16 days away from Thursday Night Football and 19 days away from 49ers football. I am juiced right now. I don't feel like I'm going to sleep for days.
I'm sparked, bro. I'm extremely sparked. Season starts on September 13th.
Yup, and it's cool. Bronze dissed me again. It's cool though. Like, we're just gonna chalk it up at this point. Like, we just know.
Nah, bro. I was just talking about it. Actually, he's doing the same thing that you just did, bro. He's doing. I was telling everybody, like, my draft isn't until Saturday at 5, and it's like I guess everybody's league is different. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. There's ESPN, there's Yahoo, there's all kind of different.
There's NFL.com.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff.
Right. So, I was telling everybody that I was, Jason might be on, he might not, but you just popped up. And I was going through, first I went through the injuries, and then I went through what happened at training camp.
Okay. So we found out that Aiyuk is going to be week to week, but we did find out today that Adam Schefter was on NFL Live and he said that the team fully expects him to be there week 1.
Right.
I believe that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. He was on NFL Live and he said that, the talk within the building is that he will be there week 1. I believe that. Okay. Shefty's tapped in. I believe that that's true. I believe that that's what they want to do. Now, whether Aiyuk can do it based on how he's feeling is another thing. But I really think that they fully expect Aiyuk to be there. I just wouldn't count on Debo at this point, like not week 1.
Yeah, and I was talking to everybody on the chat, and I was telling them that I seen a video of Debo doing. It looked like he was doing his combine 40, like he was moving.
Yeah.
I know that he's working like drastically to try to make that week 1. And do you know how long it's been since Debo has had that?
The Liz Frank. I want to say I have no sense of time because of quarantine. Like I don't know what day it is ever. I really, but I feel like it was a month ago.
A month ago, yeah. Because they say it's like that Liz Frank is like 6 to 8 weeks. Let me look it up.
I got you.
Yeah, let me look it up and see exactly when he injured. Okay, so it was actually
June 18th.
Yeah.
So a month ago. A month and 7 days.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I was just hoping that he was going to be back for week 1.
Well, here's the thing, right, Trey? Like, if we ran out there Kittle, Aiyuk, Bourne against the Cardinals, we should be all right. We should be all right. I mean, I do want to see Deebo Samuel get, into this offense, and I want to see where he fits with Aiyuk. But I think the first 3 weeks we can kind of take it easy with him. Like we won't need him. We won't need him against the Giants and the Jets. The Cardinals game was maybe where it gets a little hairy just because you know how well they play us. It's a division game. All those games are going to be close. But I still feel like the 49ers can succeed without him. Obviously Kittle's going to be fine. And if Aiyuk and Bourne are there, they're going to be able to run the ball. We should be fine. We should be able to walk away with that game. Right.
Yeah, and especially going up against the Eagles, that's the game I want to have him back.
For sure.
They just got Darius Slay, but they don't have Malcolm Jenkins anymore.
No,
but
that pass rush is stout. And it's like what we talked about with Grant. We want to make sure that interior O-line is all taken care of when it comes to that game because that's going to be a mess. If it's not. So let's just hope that by week 4, we're as close as we are to full health. I mean, the thing that we should take away from all of these injury updates is none of them sound like they're long term, right? The only thing that makes me nervous is those hammies, those calves, those soft tissue injuries. Those kind of linger and they can pop up at any moment. But nobody has had the devastating injury, and that's
and the NFLPA president, he did a study from the 2011 holdout year, and he said that calves and hamstrings increased by 50%, and Achilles injuries increased by 44%.
Excuse me. Yep, because you're ramping up so fast.
Right.
There's no sort of OTAs. The OTAs is where you're supposed to start to try to ramp up, right? But
mini camp, spring camp, we didn't have none of that, bro. So I already kind of had a feeling like, they're going to be putting on pads and like within 8-9 days, like that's going to be kind of tough. I kind of expected some soft tissue injuries.
For sure.
It always happens, man.
But when you hear mild and things like that, should give you
Yeah, I definitely did see that tweet. I think it was from David Lombardi where it said he had a mild hamstring strain. Yeah, so that's really good because when it goes to grade 1 and grade 2, that's when you're looking at, grade 1 is 3 to 4 weeks, to grade 2 is 6 to 8 weeks. So if you're talking about mild, he felt it tense up, you know what I'm saying? And they probably said, sit it down, right?
And then what I want people to remember too is that today, Aiyuk and Samuel were walking around practice. Just walking around, like taking it in. So it's not like they're completely hobbled to the point where they're just doing rehab. Like they feel good enough where they can move around. And I think that what it really is for them to get mental reps, right? For them to watch what's going on in the offense and to know where. Well, if I'm on the field at this point at that spot, what's my assignment? And I think that's what it really was, is that they want to get Aiyuk going. And I think that Debo is going to be a perfect mentor for him in that way. So so that all of these things, guys, like we had the sky falling a few days ago. When you start to think about these things and you hear Kyle talk about it, we should be okay. Look, Bosa, right? Bosa's the one that everybody's afraid of, right? But you guys remember, he didn't do training camp or preseason last year. He's fine. Just get him to game one. That's it. That's it. I don't care.
Yeah, and a good thing that we heard is DJ Jones came back today.
That's perfect. And you know what, Dre, I got to give you your props, man. While I was here scared about the concussion, it can linger, he's through the protocol. He was practicing today. So he doesn't have a shoulder injury, and he also made an interception today. I don't know if you read that part where it was a tip ball, and he dove for it. This big man, this giant man was able to dive for the football in the air and bring it in. DJ Jones is so important to the interior rotation for this team. We need to keep people healthy, and we can't have Bosa running 97% of the snaps. That's not how we're going to keep him healthy, and that's not how we're going to succeed. So we need to have all of these guys fresh, and DJ Jones just adds that much more to this team. And that's now you understand why everybody's so juiced about him.
Yeah, most definitely. And DJ also had a damn good day on one-on-ones. He dominated Tom Compton. And that's
come on, Trey.
Yeah,
come on, Trey. I told you, don't put him on the field. Don't put him on the field.
I don't want to see that guy on the field.
No.
And let's go into talking about Ben Garland. I think he had it's an ankle.
It's ankle.
So it's an ankle sprain. It's not a high ankle sprain. And every time we've had an injury, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have brought some guys in. They haven't brought in any more guards or centers. So that lets me know that Ben Garland is going to be back for week 1. As long as it's Garland at center and Brunskill at guard.
That's it. That's the best case scenario. That's it. Honestly, it's got to be those two, and then I'll be. That's when I'm gonna be talking big. Like I'm like now you're talking about having Brunskill in a spot that he succeeded last year, right? Again, I'm not saying that Brunskill can't play center, but the fact that he only took 20 snaps last year in preseason hardly makes him the replacement. I understand that he's athletic enough to do it, but that doesn't mean that you understand the position. The center position is very involved, which is why they identified Richburg, which is why they paid Richburg, which is why they keep waiting for Richburg. They understand the value of that. And I think Brunskill can, but I don't think it's fair to expect that when you're just throwing him in there and just saying, you have to understand the snap has to be on target. Now you have to get your head up and watch for rushers. So the center has a lot more to do than everybody else. That's the hardest on the line, I feel.
Right. And he also has to call out coverages.
That's the thing. It's like you have to be able to see
the line and identify stuff.
And Richburg is great at that. Richburg's amazing at that. When you watch the film, you can watch him checking all the time. He'll point at guys and then boom, the rest of the line. You'll see Staley get up and tap his head, and then everybody else is making the checks because of that. And that's something that you can't understate. You really can't. You need that sort of, again, the 49ers can ill afford to start this season slowly.
Right. We can't.
That's it. Bottom line.
Yeah, we really can't, man. We got to go 4-0. We got to get some of these easy games out the way so we could have a head of steam and be in that league for NFC Championship.
For sure. And we have to be in a spot where when we face Seattle, we're not one game ahead of them. Right. Those games can't decide. I can't take these games that decide the entire NFC West. I can't anymore, man. We have to find a way to distance ourselves from them as much as we can. And if that means reeling off those games that we're supposed to, that's absolutely what we should do.
That's how you do it, bro. Yep. You have to win the games that you're supposed to.
For sure. And then they say that the good teams, they beat the teams they're supposed to, and they go 500 against the teams that the 49ers didn't go 500 against good teams though last year. So I think that they're in fine position when it comes to that. So yeah, right. It's all about just keeping Seattle off of us. Where week 17 doesn't mean everything. I don't know why I'm saying all this, because I think we kind of know that that's what it's going to wind up coming down to one way or another. Right?
It always does.
Yep.
It always does, bro.
Yep.
It always does.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the first episode of Brick by Brick.
I didn't see it. You tell me about it. I saw them start it, at the horrible place that we were last year. I think that kind of put me off of it in the beginning, but I like that, right? This team needs to remember where they were, right? That's the point of all of this, the revenge tour, all that stuff. This team needs to remember where they were, how close they were, and how much it's their fault that this isn't done, that we aren't celebrating a championship. They need to know all that. They need to look themselves in the mirror and realize that they had it at that point with all those injuries, and now they're bringing a lot of those guys back while improving. So Super Bowl has to be on the mind. So I'm glad that they started there, and I know this whole team is completely infatuated with that.
Right. Yeah, man. The main thing that I got from Brick by Brick is that Quan Alexander is the emotional leader of this team. Bro, you have to see it. I mean, his energy on that field when guys come in and they're maybe a little bit sluggish, he's the guy that gets everything going, bro.
Right.
He deserves a lot of credit for that. There's a lot of people who overlook Quan Alexander. People need to stop saying this. Greg Greenlaw is not better than Quan Alexander, people. Let's stop saying that. Let's just cut it out. Let's just cut it out. Because you know what? Quan and Fred on coverage, they ain't been getting burnt by nobody. No. Not even JaMychal Hasty, right? No. So people need to stop saying that, right? Quan Alexander is the emotional leader of this team. He gets everybody going, and I see why he got the contract that he got. He's just that guy, bro. When you watch Brick by Brick, he is the guy that sticks out. He's the guy that sticks out.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with you there about the emotional aspect of what Quan brings to this team. I think that the argument comes in with Dre is this, right? Dre's cheaper, right? Like much cheaper. Because he's on a rookie contract.
Why do we always gotta go to?
Hey, look! I'm just telling you the arguments. I'm just telling you the arguments that'll come up, right? So the people that'll cape for Greenlaw, right? He's cheaper. He's a more sure tackler because we even got reports today out of camp that Jimmy hit some fullback, not Kyle Juszczyk. Sorry, guys, my ignorance, and I don't know who he is.
He had a red zone touchdown,
right? And he went right through Quan. And I think we've heard, Grant's been at training camp, and he tells you that he takes some odd routes to, some odd angles to tackles. And that's been on film since he was a Buccaneer. But what he does that even Dre Greenlaw isn't bad at, because you saw him make that play against Seattle on the interception. There he is. What happened?
You did not get stood up today.
Woo! Man. My God.
My God. I know. What's up?
No, I put pressure on Bronze. I was like, yo, I'm like, come on, man. This is like the third straight time. Like,
I know. See, I had to try to come through, man. It just got done with the draft and stuff, man. So.
You got done with the draft, bro. Yeah, I got a fantasy football podcast that you ain't listening to, bro. What's happening?
Man, yeah, I'm gonna subscribe, man. I'm gonna subscribe.
It's too late now. You drafted.
Hey, I got another one.
Get it
now. Man, what's up, everybody?
Hey, bro, what's up, bro? Man. Hey, so we just talking about the first episode of Brick by Brick, right?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes. Go up, Bronze.
So
I saw it, man.
What did you take from the first episode of Brick by Brick? Because mine was Quan.
It's kind of like the first episode, just trying to like everybody just getting everyone situated and stuff. I mean, I thought it was cool. There was nothing specific that really stood out, but I wanted to ask you guys a question. I think it's the elephant in the room. I don't know if you guys already talked about it yet, but the nickel position, man. The slot, like K1, like who's gonna?
So we got all these injury updates on everybody else, but they didn't say a thing about K1.
So let me go through the notes for today at Tarvarius Moore. Tarvarius Moore is playing the nickel to fill in for K1 Williams.
What?
He had a PBU in the red zone against Jordan Reed, right? And he also had a PBU against Charlie Warner in the red zone. He looks really good at the nickel, and he looks to fill in for K1 Williams. Also,
Jordan Reed was dominating today. That's
dominated.
Yeah,
dominated Washington. Dominated on one of the This. It looks
what's going on. Like
a good 22.
Like this whole last week, like he was just Jordan Reed was just running around, jogging.
We put pads on today, and on 11-11, he was 4 for 4 on catches, and then he in the end zone made a play on Kwaski. Like, I don't want to get too excited, man. Guys, please, I don't want to get too excited. But my goodness, if Jordan Reed is healthy and can give 20 to 25, 30 snaps in the red zone, goodness gracious, you are talking about something that is super hard to cover.
Threats.
No, we're not going to just say the red zone. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I got from Grant today. Grant says, Grant said specifically, Jordan Reed looks like the 49ers are preparing Jordan Reed to have a big impact on this offense during this year. And you have to look at how many wide receivers were down, right? So just go to 22 personnel. That's what you got to do. Just go to 22 personnel. Jordan Reed he's the best route running tight end on the team. That was confirmed. He's the best.
Grant said that? Grant said that?
All right. check this out.
Woo!
For the fans that's not in the know, break down what the 22 personnel is.
Two tight ends,
two backs, two
backs, two tight ends. Yes.
Correct. And then what? So one wide receiver,
one wide receiver,
one wide receiver. Right. Yes, sir. So two backs, two tight ends, one wide receiver. We ran it numerous amounts of times. Against the Green Bay Packers, we were basically in 22 personnel basically the whole game when Raheem Mostert went crazy. So I mean, I feel like Kyle Shanahan, he has the wherewithal to basically run 22 personnel and still get 6 yards per clip. That's just what he does, right?
Sure. And then the only thing that I get scared of, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Trey.
Go ahead.
The only thing that scares me, right, is that I don't want this offense to become predictable when Jordan Reed's on the field, right? Like if you see Jordan Reed on the field and that signifies pass, that's gonna scare me. Hey, little mama, let go. Hey.
All right, so we have a comment here from Francisco Lopez.
No, that's not true. Francisco, look, let me tell you something, Francisco. Recency bias is a hell of a thing, right? It's a hell of a thing when it comes to Jordan Reed, right? And it's easy to dismiss him because of how many injuries he's had. Let me be completely frank about Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed is a baller. Like, this isn't a guy that's a scrub. If I heard that, Charlie Warner or Ross Dwelly was giving Jaquiski Tartt the business, I'd get nervous. Jordan Reed, right. Jordan Reed, when he's right, is an elite tight end. Elite. Exactly. And look, Thanksgiving Day against the Cowboys was the last time that we really saw him really go crazy. But I implore you guys to go back and watch some of these catches that he was making when Kirk Cousins was his quarterback. This man was split out wide on cornerbacks, dominating. This is how good Jordan Reed is. This is why you decide to take a chance on a low-risk, high-reward player like Jordan Reed, is because of this that you can unlock. If he's doing well against Jaquiski Tartt, that is not a slight at Jaquiski Tartt. If anything, that backs up my point that Jordan Reed is a baller. And I think he really is when he's healthy. And I don't want to get too excited, even though I'm clearly excited. But
I'm excited too.
I want to see this so badly where he's on the field with Kittle, because I would love to see how defense is going to cover this. I really would.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And that ain't the wine talking. Let's pull up the film. If you want me to do Jordan Reed from the Redskins days, I think some of y'all need a reminder on
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. So I don't want to insult anybody, but for people like us that you guys are watching on the show, we are 24/7, 365 days.
It's a good question. No, Francisco, that's a great question, Francisco. Yeah. I just don't want you to downplay Jordan Reed. That's it. It's a good question because Jordan Reed hasn't played in so long, but his talent is the reason that he's able to do this well. And remember, the man hasn't played football in like a year, right? So he's low-key fresh, right? Even though he had a concussion,
right?
Yeah, so and you have to remember, the juice is there for Jordan Reed. He gets on the field, he starts feeling it. The juice is going through the roof for him, man. He hasn't played in how long? Of course he's going to try to show out a little bit more. So, again, that's no slight at Tartt. Tartt's our guy. Guy. We know that. He's our guy.
Well, I already went over his, Tartt's, his camp review today. But besides for the one-on-ones versus Jordan Reed, he broke up a pass intended for George Kittle in one-on-ones. He also had 2 PBUs in the red zone against the ones from Jimmy Garoppolo, right? So besides for the one-on-ones versus Jordan Reed, he broke up a pass from on one-on-ones from George Kittle. He also had 2 PBUs in the red zone on 11-on-11s. So what does that tell you? That just shows you how good of a route runner Jordan Reed is.
Right. And did you guys forget too about Tartt? Like, Tartt made this defense in the red zone almost impenetrable when it came to scoring touchdowns. Like, did you guys forget that when he left the field because he was hurt, the red zone percentage went through the roof.
More susceptible,
Right, for sure. So again, you should take this news as great news. It doesn't devalue Tartt. It just goes to show you that Jordan Reed still got something in the tank. And if he can figure it out, and Jet for sure is going to go to work.
Yes.
For sure. Right. This is now going to become this is going to become more of a Jet McKinnon Stan podcast soon, very soon.
Yes, straight up. I drafted him in my fantasy.
Where'd you take him?
I took him my last pick before the kicker and defense. So
Good pick, Bronze. I
yeah.
like that. You take kicker defense last. Look at you.
Yeah. No, I stack
Right,
up on running backs. So
All right, so speaking of Jet McKinnon, right? There was an article that came out from ESPN this morning that said Jet McKinnon is going to be the X factor for the 49ers because of his running and pass catching ability. Yep. And I said last episode, when Kyle Shanahan sees what Jet McKinnon can do in the offense that he basically created around him before he got injured, he's going to take the starting spot from Raheem Mostert. I said it.
So look, all right. So look, I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because I got to watch that clip back. Okay.
Yeah. You posted that.
No, I know I saw that because I saw it. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what's this? And I looked and I was like, oh, okay. I remember it. So look, remember what you were saying, Trey, about Raheem Mostert? We haven't heard anything about him, right?
Right.
So KP's show of Niners Nation, right? He's been at camp. And he did his write-up today. He said that Raheem Mostert is far and away the best running back on this team, far and away, and he's been showing it.
Word. Okay. What did he say? What about?
So he said that everything seems to be easy. Like he's gliding like he usually does, one cut runner. He said he looks amazing, right? He looks amazing, and I think that remember that day, Dre, you were saying he got hit in the backfield from Warner. He's complaining and things like that.
He's strong.
He hit me too hard. Yo, when I ran that back, I was like, yo, Dre is wild. Yo, I love you know what I love about this? And I think that everybody else gravitates to, Dre. Like, this is what you got. You got the passion in your pocket, right? Like when you say something, like people are drawn to it because you are so passionate about it, man.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like that's we all can't be even killed like that, right? Like I'm not gonna say
you can't be total homer, you know what I'm saying?
Or we all just can't be agreeing. We all just can't be agreeing on stuff, right? Like that's not gonna make for good shows, right?
Right.
But I did read that by KP show, and I thought that was interesting. I wanted to bring that up because I read that today actually. And I respect it because the guy knows he knows his film and he's around the team. But I thought that was interesting to bring up because it's in comparison to you guys saw Grant's video, right? About Coleman.
Yeah.
Yo, this man,
hey, that's Grant.
I give Grant all the respect in the world,
like,
bro.
That's messed up. Like Tico, he breaks for a 3-yard touchdown. On the back end of that, he says he's prepared to get 3 yards of carry. Like that, bro. Like so, Tico.
49ers fans, I get it. I get it.
That was over 50 yards in camp.
He did, and he started with that, right? So this is the thing about Grant. Grant's a comedian, bro. Like he's a comedian.
Yeah,
man.
straight up.
Like if you, this is what I tell 49ers fans all the time. Why do you let him get under your skin? That's exactly what he's trying to do. Like what are you talking about? So look, he starts it off by saying Coleman is around the corner for a long run. He goes, he's a lock for the 53. He goes, he's going to start, and I can't wait for him to run 3 yards on his first carry. He goes, can't wait. And it ends. And I laughed. Look, Grant understands the power that he has, and you guys buy into that all the time. Anytime he posts anything. All the time. He's betting on that.
Hell yeah.
He knows his stuff. He knows how to get a rise out of all of you.
Yeah, man. I was just like, whoa, man. Grant is crazy. Grant is crazy for that.
Hey, look, man. He knows what he's doing, man. Again, perfect balance of Twitter personality and knowing your stuff. That's Grant Cohen. He's my guy, and I will defend him. I don't care what people on Twitter say about him.
Yeah, already.
He breaks down films and all that. I mean, you don't see Matt Barrows and Matt Mayoko be breaking down film and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So.
A lot of the beat writers don't, man. Like when you look at what they're saying and stuff, like a lot of those guys don't watch the film. Grant watches the film, man. That gives you more context. And honestly, now how he decides to use that information that he gets from the film or he gets from camp is completely up to him. But that he chooses to use that content to get a rise out of you people, and also he knows his stuff. So you just have to understand Grant. That's it. I don't know him like that. We've only done the interactions on here, but I get it. And he leans into it and I love it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So, since we're already talking about running backs, let's go.
I thought you were gonna say Grant. Since we're talking about Grant.
Yeah.
So we're already talking about the running backs. Let's talk about the running back depth chart. How do you see the running back depth chart starting off during the season, and how do you see it ending at the season ends?
So I think that the way that you saw it shake out last year, the only change that is going to be you're going to see Jerick McKinnon on third downs. What I would prefer Kyle Shanahan did, because he used to do this with Tevin Coleman, is I would love to see Tevin Coleman or Raheem Mostert on the field with Jerick McKinnon lined up in the slot. A linebacker trying to guard Jerick McKinnon in short space, good luck. And I'll take my shot every day with that. So
because he's unguardable. He's unguardable.
No, he's not, and he's the best route runner.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
I would love to see them update this offense in that way and show us different looks, because he used to do it in Atlanta. I have the film. I told you. I watched that Denver game where Coleman had the sickle cell. He wasn't supposed to play. He lined him up 3 times in the slot. Each time Tevin Coleman destroyed a linebacker. Destroyed him. Right. And it was on a sail route, another one was on an out route, and another one was on a straight post where he caught the ball and he dipped on everybody. I think Jerick McKinnon can do that. What it's going to be is what we know it's going to be. Coleman's going to start the game. Coleman's going to get those tough yards, size the defense up. Most is going to come in and attack, right? And McKinnon is going to be that guy on third down when it's third and short, right? We'll maybe put him on the field, give you the idea that maybe this might be a run, but also be able to throw it out to him in the backfield and see what he can do with it, because we have been lacking that very much. Any play that we have run really out of the backfield for running backs has been design plays. What I mean by that is screen passes or throwbacks, the handoff to Sanders and he threw it back to Mostert. He doesn't have a guy that can improvise, and I think that's what McKinnon does. Like, McKinnon knows when the play's about to break down, and he knows how to get to space, and he'll put Jimmy in a spot where he has another blanket on third down besides Trent Taylor, and I think that's where we see McKinnon fit in. So it's still Coleman. It's still Mostert, who's going to probably get the goal line carries depending on the situation, but Jerick McKinnon is going to start as the third down back. But like Dre said, he has the chance to overtake all of it if he can utilize the outside zone the way that Kyle thinks he can, and add those catches.
Right. So, I was going to ask Bronze, but I'm going to give my 2 cents and how I think it's going to start off and how it's going to end. I think it's going to start off as Raheem Mostert as the starter, Tevin Coleman coming in and them splitting carries, and then Jet, probably getting 5 to 10 carries a game, and, getting the ball thrown at him, probably 2 to 3 times. But what's going to happen is every time that Jet touches the ball, he's going to bust one. And you know what's going to happen? There's going to be one game where Raheem Mostert doesn't look so hot. Okay. And all of these fans who love Raheem Mostert so much, they're going to be saying you should have started Jet McKinnon, right? By the end of the season, Jet McKinnon is going to be starting. Tevin Coleman is still going to be that guy that's going to come in and get the hard yards. Right. And Raheem Mostert might turn into what Matt Breida turned into last year by the end of the season.
Right.
That's just me.
The other thing, too, is wait, it's gone. I had it. It's gone. Yep, it's gone. Sorry. Keep going. Okay.
I want to talk about the slot position, man. We got so many options in the slot. Yeah. You got Trent Taylor. You could put Kendrick Bourne. You could put Juwan Jennings. It's just like the flavor, like what Kyle wants. Do I want small, medium, or large? It's crazy, depending on the matchup, right?
There's chatter that I don't believe this. I'm just going to tell you, there's chatter that Juwan Jennings isn't going to make this team. I don't see how that's possible, though. I really don't. Yeah, I don't see how that's possible. Like,
expand upon this chatter. Yeah. I want to know exactly where. So the chatter. You can't the source, but
No. Look, it's Twitter. There's no source. Some of the beat writers are chatting. Some of the beat writers are chatting about it. It's not a source. If a source came to me with that, and it's one of my trusted sourses, then I would tell you that he's not going to be on the team. There's not many sources I trust like that. But there's been chatter about him, not making this roster just because. Now think about O-line, right? O-line is important, right? So you want to carry more linemen, right?
Right.
We're going to carry 3 quarterbacks. Right. We're carrying 4 running backs, 5. Because we just cut Ahmed. Ahmed had the fumble problems, and Kyle wasn't even willing to deal with that past another day. He cut him. Right. We're going to see Hasty's going to make this team one way or another, whether he ends up on the practice squad or not, they're not letting him go. The buzz is out on him, and once he goes to waivers, he's not making it back. If DJ Reed didn't make it back, he's not making it back.
Right.
Right.
So Ahmed's gonna make the team, McKinnon's making the team, Coleman's making the team, and so is Jeff Wilson and Mostert. So there's 5, right? So there might be a world where Juwan Jennings doesn't have a spot on this team. I find it hard to see that though, right? So with the Jalen Hurd injury, right? It's almost like Kyle has duplicates, right, of the same player. Like Jalen Hurd and Juwan Jennings, big guys over the middle, right? Tough after the catch, dog, right? That's kind of the same player. Aiyuk and Samuel, big yards after the catch, in space, same guy. I think that there is something to the idea that Kyle Shanahan wants to have a big slot on this team, and he wanted it to be Jalen Hurd. It's hard for me to believe this chatter and say that Juwan Jennings isn't going to make this team because I don't see how that's possible when you need as much depth as possible.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. How could that be chatter? Because Jalen Hurd is not here.
Right.
He's done. ACL, it's over, right? So you have that big guy who was a yards after the catch guy who played in the ACC against the best competition, whose highlight film, Adam Peters said that
was the best
that he's ever seen, and that's crazy, right?
I think
I saw that video.
I think everything else too.
Yeah,
everybody else to remember about Jennings too is that the only reason Jennings won the 6th round is because of character concerns.
Right.
Wasn't because
or 7th round. Yeah.
Wasn't because he can't play.
I looked that up too. I saw the video. I mean, it was kind of justified.
Right.
You know, he was calling out the coaches.
He's like a bigger Anquan Bolden. Like catch the ball and try to tackle him. Good luck.
All right, so Bronze, expand more on what exactly happened with Juwan Jennings.
I think there was talk about some shadiness within the head coach. Eventually, the coach got fired. The new coach came back in, and the new head coach asked the players, you know, should we bring him back? And everybody said, every single one of them said yes. He's the leader of the team.
So basically, what Juwan was saying was actually true about the head coach, and it just came off.
Same head coach that was letting Jalen Hurd get hurt, do some shady stuff with Jalen Hurd. That's why Jalen Hurd transferred. Also.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, it really shouldn't count against his character. But it still happened. He did get kicked off the team. So people
talking about Jalen Hurd, or we talking about Juwan Jennings?
We're talking about Juwan Jennings, right? Some stuff was happening at the University of Tennessee.
It was the coaches that he got into it. It's not like it's not like he hit a woman. It's not like he did anything crazy out of the law. It was that he got into an altercation with a coach.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, hey man, if a guy is fiery and he's willing to speak his mind, and if something wrong is going on, and it was actually going on, and they fired the coach, then hey, I can't really put that against him. You know
what we should do is we should talk to Tennessee Volunteers fans, right? Because when I posted his game film, after we drafted him, because I started to feel like, okay, do we have a diamond in the rough? I got like 3 or 4 Tennessee fans, and each one of them said the same exact thing. They were like, enjoy, you got yourself a dog. And that was telling to me. That really was. And like you said, he didn't play for Wyoming State or, I don't even know if that's a real college. I'm just saying, like, he didn't play for some also ranked college. Tennessee is a big time program.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you remember what happened to Jalen Hurd was a starting running back at Tennessee until some guy named Kamara something showed up.
Right.
Well, basically, Kamara was the backup.
Right. But Kamara came in and he won the job. Yeah.
Right. Well, Jalen Hurd, like, he transferred
because they brought him in.
Right, and then Kamara, and then that's when he excelled and all that.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? So Baker Mayfield did the same thing when Pat Mahomes pulled up, right? It's almost like you see, right? You get to see guys in practice, right? And you get to see them, and you're like, you know what? Even in your own heart of hearts, you have to feel like, oh man, this guy's gonna play over me. So Baker transferred, and Jalen transferred.
And and he went on to win
in Oklahoma. And Pat Mahomes, right? Like, so like it's interesting in that way because you go right to your transfer portal after you see a guy come on the field and you're just like, you know what, this guy might take my spot. But I just wanted to put that out there, like, like Jalen Hurd wasn't unseated by some scrub, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I think we all agree that Alvin Kamara is really good at football.
right. He's really
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's all right.
Yeah, for this show, man, like, we really didn't have any content that
Man, this shit works. This is content.
Yeah, freestyle Tuesday.
Content right here.
For a show, it usually takes me and Bronze, a couple of days basically to create, some good content, the questions and the format and all
But
that.
it's camp though right now, so I feel like we're gonna be doing more and more, like especially facts, Bron. But Kamara sat on the bench while Jalen was nominated as starter. It was the other way around. There you go. So you were right, Bronze.
Yeah.
So but this is camp right now, right? 19 days away from the opener, 16 days away from football. There's content. There's plenty to talk about, especially when we found out all about all these injuries today. So you're not off. Like today, we need to discuss and calm people down about the severity of Ford, Bosa, Aiyuk, Debo, like, all these guys. Like we need to be able to give people a little bit of calm so they don't freak out. When you hear we're all day to day, we're all week to week. All three of us, we're all day to day. Every single person is day to day. What does day to day mean?
Right.
I'm day to day. Tomorrow I might wake up and hate everything.
Right.
Okay. I want to. Oh, go ahead, Dre.
No, go ahead, bro.
I want to ask you guys, what's your prediction for the first game, Arizona? Because we always play them close.
31-27 Niners.
Yeah, I
close game.
I don't want to say an exact score, but I think it'll be a 3 to 7 point game. I think it'll be a 3 to 7 point game.
It's gonna be a game.
Yeah, if
we
were
another man nail biter.
Yes.
Yeah. If we were fully healthy, I think it would be a 10 to 14.
We might be.
Right.
We might be. Like if they look at this point, right? Ford and Bosa, put them in bubble wrap. Don't allow them on the field. We know what they're doing. But Ford is on for passing downs, and Bosa already knows what to do. Don't even risk them. Yeah. Aiyuk is the guy that I want to see get more reps because I want him to understand this offense more, and I want him to build more with Jimmy. Even though all reports out of camp is that Jimmy has been looking for him, right? He's only looking. Trey, Buda Baker contract set up Seahawks with. Oh yeah, that's a great topic right
today.
There.
Yeah, that news dropped today, right? Buda Baker,
the biggest contract the safety has ever had,
dude.
And what's so funny about that is they paid a guy who's been in the league for 1 year, but they traded away, honey.
Guys,
I don't get it.
That was retarded.
Can I talk?
That was stupid.
24th ranked safety in coverage. 24th. So what Buda Baker's known for, which is coverage and locking down the field, George Kittle destroys on a chipped foot.
Yeah. For real. Yeah, he couldn't hold Kittle.
Right. So whatever if you want to drive up the price for Jamal Adams, but on the flip side, guess whose price just also went up?
The Quashi.
If Buda Baker is the highest paid safety in the league, right? And he makes the top 100 list, right? No, wait. Let me rephrase that. Not the highest paid safety in the league. The highest paid safety in league history.
Yeah.
In league history.
That's a head scratcher.
Jamal Adams is going to ask for the bank, everything. And he should.
70, 80. It's kind of going to be like George Kittle. It's kind of going to be like George Kittle and Kelsey. Kelsey got 57 million and George Kittle got 75, right? So 57, 75. What is that? That's like 18 million. 18 million more?
Yeah.
What do you think Jamal Adams going to ask for? 80?
And that even raises Kwaski's price, right? So if Kwaski was in the like $7 to $9 million range, why shouldn't he ask for 10, 11?
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like because I was at work and we wear glasses, eye protection, PP, all of that stuff. It's construction, whatever. And I had to like take off my protective glasses and like wipe them off, you know what I'm saying, with my towel just to make sure I was seeing this right. You know what I mean? Like he got $2 $29.6 million, and you guys traded Honey Badger for a Snickers bar and a pack of Cheetos?
No, hold up. Woody Baker's good. He's just not best safety in the
not
league.
that.
No, but
so Jimmy Ward had an 84.2 PFF. He was ranked of all top 100 players. He was 53rd in as far as PFF ranking. Right, he got 28 million. You guys gave Buda Baker basically $30 million more than Jimmy Ward. Hell no, bro. He's not 30. He's not even better than Jimmy Ward, if you ask me.
I think that speaks to how much of a steal Jimmy Ward's contract is, right? Exactly. Because the first idea when you hear that K1 is down, right, is, and this is everybody else that's been throwing it out there, just throw Jimmy Ward in there, right? Like, he can be the slot guy.
Right.
I really would like him to stay at his position at free safety because he cleans up those mistakes on the back end, right? And what we need to be more worried about, and I feel like we're overlooking right now, Dre, is who is the other cornerback that's going to start next to Richard Sherman, okay? Because we've heard Grant say Verrett doesn't look good, right? But then you hear from other people that Verrett's back to running 22 miles an hour. That sounds like a guy who's got it all back.
Right.
That sounds like a guy who's got it all back, right? But the disrespect to Emmanuel Mosley is like, I don't understand. Like, what exactly besides 3rd and 15?
He's continuing to make plays today in camp. Let me go to E-Man. E-Man tipped the pass that was headed for Dante Pettis to Jonathan Cyprian, who picked the ball off. Also, Jonathan Cyprian, he tied Richard Sherman with the most INTs in camp after only 5 days with the team with his second pick.
Well, he's a vet, right? He's a vet.
He's like a damn good one.
So that's the thing. That's beautiful depth right there, right? But it also, again, more chatter, right? More chatter. Was Cyprian brought in because they're prepared to lose Tart next year?
Was Cyprian brought in because they're prepared to make a trade for a wide receiver and have Tart into that? Because you have to look at a team like the Cleveland Browns, right? They lost Grant Delpit. They lost for the year. They lost
Greedy got hurt too.
They lost Denzel Ward. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks. They also lost their starting left cornerback. He had a lacerated like spleen or some shit, like a serious injury, bro. Like, you could die from that, bro. Like, their whole defensive backfield is gone, right? And they have a lot of receivers.
So they're gonna trade us Odell?
I ain't say that, bro. We can't.
Well, you can't.
we can't afford Odell unless like we unload like a huge contract. You know what I mean? Like, we can't afford Odell, but like they got some pretty good wide receivers. I'm just saying, like, is there a team that is struggling with defensive backs that you can name that has some pretty good wide receivers right now? Like, is there any?
Probably the Texans, right? So if you look at the Texans, right, they just lost DeAndre Hopkins, right? They brought in Brandon Cooks, who's on like his 4th team in like 5 years. They have Will Fuller, who we obviously know can't really stay healthy.
Ruth.
But when he's on the field, correct. When he's on the field, and this is why, I know this has nothing to do with the Niners, but in fantasy, I lean a little bit towards Will Fuller because he has that rapport, right, with Watson. So he's not going anywhere. Cooks isn't going anywhere because they just gave away draft capital for him. Here's a name out of all of those guys that that can be had for next to nothing. Now, would I trade Jaquiski Tart for Kenny Stills? No.
Hell no. No. You got to be much better for Kwaski.
For sure. Like, you need to give us Stills and a pick.
Right. For Kwaski.
Bill O'Brien might do.
Right.
But I would take Kenny Stills with the way that he can take the attention of the field. And
you just said the right name. Bill O'Brien is ripe for the picking.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Good job, bro.
But here's the thing. Though. If we call him and we tell him we want Kenny Stills, he's probably going to ask for CJ Beathard. like he's not going to take you seriously. He sent off DeAndre Hopkins for a bag of chips. So
Hey,
it's not big a lot.
for Jeff. What is it? David Johnson, the running back.
David Johnson. You got more. You traded more for David Johnson than what you got for DeAndre Hopkins, who is a top 1, 2, 3 receiver in this league.
He was damn good, but he's not D-Hop good.
No.
David Johnson, like I remember like a few years back, like whoa.
2016 David Johnson.
Now it's changed though.
2016 David Johnson was elite. Last year, what you saw in the beginning of the year was he was fine, but then after he got injured, oh my goodness, Trey. I watch everybody's film because of fantasy football, right? This is how I win. So I get to watch other people. But I watched it. My God, David Johnson is just like he gets the ball and he's just like.
But you gotta realize this too, bro. He's a power back. You can't put him in the zone. You can't put him in the zone.
He has amazing footwork. He was shooting people out of boots.
You can't put D Johnson in his own stretch scheme and expect him to, you know what I mean? Like they changed their whole offense, and you could see that they were going in a different direction when they got Kenyon Drake. Like I remember Kenyon Drake when he was with Alabama, and he's like your prototype scat back. Like he's the guy who's going to get yards outside.
Can we talk about that room in Alabama that he was in, the running back room?
True.
Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Jay Yeldon.
Okay.
And I'm missing one more. But there was 4 NFL backs when he was there.
My bad. You're right.
No, you're good. No. I'm glad you brought that up because it lets you know how much I think of Kenyon Drake. Like, I think he's a baller. Like, just because you're stuck with Derrick Henry and in college, TJ Yeldon was really good, doesn't mean that, because you're lower in the pecking order that you're not good. All those guys made the NFL. TJ Yeldon might wash out soon, like in the next year.
TJ was like one of those guys who got screwed by the team he went by. I think if TJ Yeldon was with us, he'd be a 1,500-yard back, bro.
Well, all right. So that's different though because Kyle Shanahan. Look, Ricky Mostert was on 6 different teams. But. I want everybody to remember that Raheem Mostert wasn't brought here by Kyle. He was Chip Kelly had him first,
right.
And he was a holdover on the roster. Kyle allowed that, but Kyle didn't pick him. Kyle picked Jerick McKinnon.
Right. Yeah, and the thing about Mostert is he was here with Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly was familiar with him back in the Eagle days, so he already knew who he was. Matter of fact, he cut him. Yeah. So he already knew who he was. Brody, hey, yeah, man, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, 1,000 subscribers, bro. It took us 89 days, but we got it done, man. We appreciate you
guys. Lit, man. Y'all lit out here.
Nah, it ain't y'all. It's we, bro. Because
it's we. Yeah, all right, yeah, it's we. Let's get it.
Yeah, you're part of this now.
Let's go.
Let's see, bro. All right, let's talk about this. Go. Is there another wide receiver? Since we're already talking about like trading wide receivers,
trading for wide receivers.
Bronze, is there another wide receiver that you would sign in free agency to possibly help this group going through these injuries?
Man, I don't know. I don't even really
say it. Antonio Brown.
No, heck no.
I'm just kidding. Hey guys, also, for the people out there, and there was a big Twitter debate about this today or whatever, that Antonio Brown needs to be signed before he starts his suspension. I want you guys to remember that. It's not like he's just suspended for week 1 if he doesn't sign. He has to sign. So when he signs, he's missing 8
weeks. Suspension starts.
Yeah. It's not week 1. It's not like you can sign him week 7 and say, okay, we're getting him in 2 weeks. No.
Right.
So if someone's gonna strike on him, there it is. That's it. Wayne Jr. with the Lloyd Banks avatar. Yes, Lloyd Banks avatar, Southside Jamaica, Queens. Josh Gordon's the guy they need to call. That's it. The wine's talking now. Call Josh Gordon. Hold it.
All right, Brian.
Dre, what do you think? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, he's been cut like with New England.
Wait, Kevin White's coming in for a workout. So look. But if we're kicking the tires on guys who never did anything, why are we not kicking the tires on Josh Gordon?
Exactly. Like, bro, like, man, like Brown, like, okay, what I can't say is JJ Nelson and Tavon Austin. JJ Nelson runs a 4.2, Tavon runs a 4.3. They had a combined 11 receptions today. The most that they've had in camp.
But that's good. But Dre,
that's good.
They're like the last healthy bodies. right? So like when we're bringing in guys, like I don't think that you guys understand. Like I've heard Kyle Shanahan say this, and for anybody that doesn't know, when you bring a body in, it's so they can run drills, and you don't run your good receivers into the ground. Thank you, Wayne Jr. for sure. Josh Gordon has flashed. Now remember this too. This is the last thing I want to say about Josh Gordon. Well, two things. One, weed is legal. Two.
Not with the NFL though. Maybe in Cali, but not
in the NFL.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So weed's good. Weed's good. And two, the year that he flashed, guess who was the offensive coordinator? Kyle Shanahan. What are we waiting on?
That's true. Hey, God, that's good.
That's a great point about Taylor Gabriel. That's a great point.
Yeah, so, I've been waiting on Taylor Gabriel, man.
Not one workout anywhere.
Nobody signed him, bro.
What's going on with him? Is there something wrong with him?
No, I don't know. And he didn't appear washed last year. He did not appear washed when I watched him on the Bears. He did not appear washed. And if he knows the system, why not kick the tires on him?
Hey, my whole thing is this that irritates me is that we continuously sign guys who are like JJ Nelson had like a pretty good year with the Cardinals. Tavon had a really good year with the Rams where he only had like 400.
Incredible.
He only had like 447 yards receiving, like 3 touchdowns, but he had multiple special team touchdowns. He had a kick return, and I think he had like 2 punt returns for touchdowns, right?
That's insane.
Playmaker, right?
He's a gadget player. Like, he's a better Ricky James.
Right. Yeah. So I was kind of happy about that signing. But the thing that irritates me is if we're going to take chances on guys, you know what I'm saying, who haven't like had produced and had huge years, just like, why not take a chance on a guy who's had a 1,600 yard season like Flash Gordon? Why not take a chance on, I don't care what Antonio Brown did off the field. You guys might hate me for saying this. I don't give a damn. The dude could play football. Look, can you hear the words that coming out of my mouth? Antonio Brown is still the best receiver in the league. I don't care, bro.
Trey.
He had 6 years of over. He had
Trey.
Bro,
Julio Jones lives. He still is alive.
Okay, one of the best.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm totally with you.
He had 6 years of over 100 receptions and like 16. His numbers are retarded, like retarded.
Look, here's the thing too, right? Here's the thing too, right? So here's the thing that really baffles me about all this. Earl Thomas can still play too, but Kyle said no to him. Yeah. So look. All right. So look, this is what I wanted to bring up, right? There is this culture that Kyle and Lynch have put together, right? Is no sort of locker room mess, anything like that.
Yes.
What I want to bring up about Antonio Brown is this. Ever since all the craziness happened with Antonio Brown, he's been very, very silent. Very, very like not saying anything on social media, right?
Nope.
And if there's a locker room that can probably reel him in with as many veterans as there is, like Richard Sherman ain't allowing that shit to happen right now.
Nope.
And you signed him now, and when things get hairy later on in the year, and he gets to play week 9, week 10, whenever it is that you sign him, goodness for the stretch run. Being able to have that, you know, like, yes, I had to because
that's why I was laughing.
Look, Dre said Antonio Brown's the best receiver in the game. I didn't know if Julio Jones had stopped playing football or if he got abducted by the aliens. Like, that's how I felt.
Maybe he said best, like, available.
Okay,
maybe that's what he. That's
that I may not argue with. That's actually not an argument. That's not an argument.
Hey, no, real talk though. That's like where I was leaning towards. Like, if you look at everybody available who we've talked about, he is the best.
Yes,
he's the best.
Yeah.
But that's not what I meant though.
No, that's a bet. I was like, oh my god. I was like, did Julio Jones retire from football today? Good God.
Hey, bro, I think it's because the NFL it's like a continuing cycle. It just continues to turn itself over, right? And we see all these new talents, right? And for some of us, we get short memories. Get short memories. I don't. I remember how dominant AB was. Like He's that guy, bro.
Yeah. Why did New England? Why did they cut him?
Because Bill Belichick is not here for any of your games at this point, right? Like ever since Aaron Hernandez happened, now he's super like you do one thing one time. Right. And first of all, the other thing is that they took him after all the crazy shit already happened with the Raiders, right? So he was like, he pretty much told them probably make one mistake and you're out of here.
Right.
Now here's what gets me. They got
Brady liked him too. Brady loved him too.
They got rid of him and Gordon.
Yes. They took a chance on them, both of them.
And Gordon
cut both of them.
With Flash,
he got it.
They actually did Flash a solid. What happened was they found PEDs in the system. They said, we're not going to say anything, right? He went to the Seahawks, and eventually they found the same thing, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of did him a solid. But for right now, man, I just feel like we need to take a chance on one of these big-name guys, bro, who's had a monstrous season. I'm not going to say a damn thing about Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant is slow.
No. God, look at me in the camera. Look at me really close. Look at my eyes. No, Dez Bryant. No.
Nah. He's too slow.
The guy a few years ago, exactly. The guy a few years ago when he was playing, everybody was making their jokes on Twitter about how he can't beat coverage. What makes you think that because he's been out of the league, all of a sudden he's going to come back and just all of a sudden figure out? Come on. No. Yeah. What are you guys talking about?
I'm good. Yeah,
see, like the same way I'm talking about Jordan Reed, right? Where if you want to use Jordan Reed for 20, 25 snaps in the red zone, that's exactly what you would do with Dez Bryant. That's it. Right. You're not going to have this man running routes in between the 20s. You want him in the end zone, so when you throw a ball up, he goes and gets it. I don't even want to take a chance on him for that.
But I think Jordan Reed is going to get a lot more than just red zone targets.
Oh, Trey, don't get me excited, bro. I'm trying to be level-headed and be analytic and be like, but I am like I'm like holding it in. Once I heard today how well he did, it just reconfirmed something that I already thought in my mind, that he can still play and that this will turn this offense into an amazing beast, man. And that's what I want.
Hey, Bronze. So I'm gonna name wide receivers right now, and you have to pick one.
Go.
Okay. We're gonna start with Taylor Gabriel, Flash Gordon, or AB. Which one you signing?
Taylor Gabriel. Taylor Gabriel. I wanted him when he was first. He became a free agent, you know, and then the Chicago Bears picked him up. But I was like, damn, I wanted him. But yeah, he's the less crazy, baggage.
Safe option,
and he's still hella fast. I don't know why he's not even being looked at by us right now.
I think that people talk down on him because of how bad their quarterback situation was in Chicago, and
horrible.
Like Trubisky's not good.
He's not. All right, Jason, who would you sign out of those three?
It's Gordon for me. Look, I get it, guys. If you want to kill me on Twitter, go ahead, right? No, I get it. And I've voiced this opinion, and I've gotten much pushback, and I get it, guys. You don't want to take a shot on somebody who has given so many chances, and he hasn't done it consistently since the last time we saw him on the field.
No, Ray Lewis caught a body. Let's act like that sweatsuit didn't disappear. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This is what I be talking about. Like Ray Lewis caught a body. AB was getting a picture painted by a lady. You know what I'm saying? He was letting a young hottie have it, and then he just kindly asked her, like, "What's happening? You want to join this? You feel me?" That happened with AB. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't catch bodies though, bro. Michael Irvin smoked crack and got caught with a prostitute on Thursday.
I know, Trey, but you got to remember, look,
people forget, come on, bro.
Remember, Trey, remember when all this was going on with Josh, right? The NFL was super vigilant when it came to weed, right? Like they were just like all over it, right? And unfortunately, he's had to check himself into rehab a bunch of times, and that's what gives teams pause, right? It's like, but here's the thing: on the counterpoint to that on the other side is that bringing Josh Gordon in, there is no way that Josh Gordon can demand any sort of money, anything like that, right? If you make it completely incentive laden, just like you did Jordan Reed, I do not see what is the downside to bringing him in, giving him a look. And if he's anything close, if he's 65% of what he was when we saw him dominating, he's still good enough probably to make this team, and I'll die on that hill.
Right.
And real talk though, man, he's not the only one in all NFL players. There's a whole bunch of NFL players that be
no, listen. We love the NFL, but there's a lot of rotten NFL players as far as what they've done. Let's keep it on the field.
Yeah. I want to make a statement after what I just said. What I said about AB, I'm not saying that I agree with what he did, but I'm saying that's literally what happened. He was having sexual intercourse with another woman while there was a woman painting a picture of himself, and he asked her to join in. Right now, that's disrespecting a woman, right? I don't agree with that, but at the same time, is that worse than catching a body? A body? Marvin Harrison caught 2 bodies, and they just can't prove it. And he's in the Hall of Fame.
Look, here's a point that I'll make, right? So the way that this NFL regime right now, Roger Goodell, has dealt with scandals has been, let's just say, less than the right way, right? So the issue is that he goes super hard on Josh Gordon for his weed or whatever, the DUIs and things like that. But, the way they handled Kareem Hunt, the way he handled Ray Rice, the way he handled all those things, people still criticize that. And he sometimes overcompensates about the punishments and who he goes hard on. And I think Antonio Brown, it was just too many things within like the same month. That's the other thing, Dre. Like, this wasn't like something in January of one year. The next year it was like February. It was like that whole month. One day it was the helmet. The next day his feet were
frozen. Frostbitten.
The next day he requested trade. The next day he posted a video of him getting his release and how happy he was. Like, this was this was a span of days, Trey.
It's true though. Like, it was one thing after another. He was playing too much games with the Raiders, man.
It was almost like every day we would wake up and scroll Twitter and just wait for something. If he wasn't going to tweet something insane, he was going to be doing something insane. So I get that.
The thing that broke the camel's back was when, like, he put Gruden like in that video, like he put his sound bite.
Isn't that illegal in California too?
No. I thought it came out that John Gruden was okay with it.
That makes
no. It was on the phone, and I think that was no permission. Like, he didn't know about that.
No, if that's true what Dre said, then the Raiders are a bigger mess than we think they are.
Yeah.
I'm not a John Gruden fan by any stretch. I think that he's one of the most fraudulent head coaches in the world. And let me explain. So he went to the Raiders, right, and turned them around. And they lost on what? On the Tuck rule, right?
Right, and they should have been in the Super Bowl.
Not denying that, for sure.
Right.
Tuck rule happens. Then all of a sudden he gets into beef with the Raiders organization. The Raiders let him go, or they traded him. Right? They traded John Gruden to the Bucs.
Who had one of the greatest defenses of all time.
Keep talking, Dre. You know where I'm going with this. Okay. The Bucs,
with the trash ass quarterback and Mike Allstott, and they had
work done.
One of the best defenses that nobody ever talks about. Your general manager, John Lynch, Derek Brooks, Simeon Rice, Warren Sapp, Dexter Jackson, who won.
Tiki Barber, Rondé Barber.
Dude.
They had a squad. Mike Allstott.
So look. This defense, right, was helmed by Tony Dungy the year before, right? Tony Dungy is a Hall of Fame coach, right? Yep. Tony Dungy gets the boot when they trade for John Gruden. John Gruden makes it through the NFC and gets to the Super Bowl, and the Raiders, Bill Callahan, has not changed one call on their offense. Not
it was predictable. Yeah.
Not one. John Lynch will tell you the story. They went into their meeting, and he said, when he says this, it's this.
Yeah.
Bill Callahan changed nothing.
Yeah.
John Gruden's never won a thing since then. Outside of that, never won a thing. Look, good coach, built up a team, but remind me of who was on this Raiders team. Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, Charles Woodson. Like, are you talking about like some of the best players of all time on this team? Okay, now when you get to the Super Bowl and you face him with a defense that was already set, and then they don't change any calls, and you railroad them in the Super Bowl, and the secret is this: Tony Dungy's offense scored more points per game than John Gruden's offense. So if you're not doing offense well, what exactly are you doing well, John Gruden? And that is my John Gruden rant. Because he's trash. Because he's trash.
Hey, John Gruden is the NFL Steve Kerr. He inherited a great team and won a chip.
He won one chip. At least Kerr had the hindsight and stood there. I mean, they had the foresight to stay there and win more.
But Steve Kerr inherited that team that you already know. The man who should have a job in the NBA right now, but they hired Tim Thibodeau, which is the
Niners.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, right. I mean, that's pretty much all the content like that I came up with for today. Like I said, bro, I didn't really prepare. I just wanted to come and chill out with the people because we reached 1,000.
Yeah,
I feel like me and Bronze talked about it, that we need to be giving people a lot more content, and try to do a better job of scheduling and doing shows. We're gonna have a new show format. I'm really tired of hearing people say that Bronze doesn't talk.
Hey, notice.
I mean,
I'm busy listening. You know what I'm saying? These guys be knowing their stuff, man. I'm just pretty much like the prediction dude.
I have to say this: Bronze does a lot of stuff, people, that you guys don't know about. If it wasn't for Bronze, there wouldn't be no Kendrick Bourne entrance. If it wasn't for Bronze, there wouldn't be none of these banners. If it wasn't for Bronze, there wouldn't be none of the graphics. If it wasn't for Bronze, I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't even know Jason for Bronze.
Yeah. The straight up, man, the chat guys, Jason, Dre, they know their stuff, man. And then when they talk, I listen. I'm like you guys watching. I just happen to be in the show. I'm just all enthralled, like, oh shoot.
It's me and Dre. If you allow us, we're gonna talk all day, and we need to start like pulling that in.
Especially when Grant's in, I'm like, well, you said everything. Like, I'm just watching.
So we're basically gonna come up with a new format, bro. We're going to start that new format on the next show with Grant on Saturday. And basically what it's going to be is we're going to bring up the topics. Bronze is going to delegate who speaks first down to the last person. Everybody's going to get 3 to 5 minutes to say they spiel. Even if they don't reach the 3 to 5 minutes and they say it in 1 or 2 minutes, we're going to move on to the next person. That way people can stop complaining. Y'all want to hear my guy Bronze speak. You're going to get the We got a new format for you.
I'm sorry. It's me. I talked to
No, real talk. I thought I knew my stuff, but then I hooked up with Dre and Jason. I'm like,
too much.
Jason, it's not.
Y'all dropping bombs. Some fire.
People have been giving us this complaint for the last couple of weeks, and
I didn't even know about that.
and we you got to go to Grant Cohn's when he loads up the episodes and clips.
Oh man, shoot.
Which I do all the time.
Shout out to Grant too, yo. Grant, like I'm not gonna lie, yo. Like me jumping on this show with you guys, like that shit pushed my following way up. Like, and it's because of Grant.
For real, man. Grant be showing you out on his stuff. He be
Grant, Grant. Listen, like I said, man. Look, I'm ready. I'm here to talk. If anybody wants to talk, like Grant's my guy, man. Like he doesn't have to mess with me in any way. Right, and I wouldn't even be mad at him if he didn't. Like that's the that's the stuff that y'all don't see. Like that everybody thinks they know from Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a question real quick.
Go ahead.
During the season, how do you guys want to do the show? You want to do like right after the game, or
I was going to ask that too, Drake. So
how do you guys want to do this?
So look, this is a good question because I asked my wife the same thing. Like it was yesterday, right? I was like, yo, I'm going to buy a new TV. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I need both, like, for the season. Because I did used to have a smaller TV that I would use for both. Like when the Niners game's on, I watch the Niners game there, but Red Zone's always going, on the other TV, right?
Okay,
so
yeah.
I was thinking about the same thing. Like, is it going to be instant reaction? Because then I need to know, and I'll pull back the drinking. It's gonna be is it gonna be the morning after, the day after? Like, are we gonna get a chance to sleep on it? Like I need to know.
This is another thing, bro. YouTube guideline says as long as you're not smoking marijuana, you're fine. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm talking about like being able to be coherent. I'm not talking about like breaking those laws. Like I need to make sure that I can tell you things and be smart.
Hey, bro, like if the fans want us to do like a live stream during the game, bro, like I'm down.
Put
like
a poll up. You guys got to put a poll up. Let's see. Like how do you guys want to see the content?
Yeah, bro. Like if they want to see like, you know what I'm saying, a live play-by-play and you know what I'm saying, we just chill with the and talk about the game. Like we could
I'll pull up after the game, yo, because I say some crazy shit during the game.
Yeah. I
People
feel
be
you.
like, yo, Jay's not
I'm
cool.
in the game.
Yeah, Jay's not cool. I'm so angry.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely figure it out, bro. We're gonna get all of that figured out.
It's a good question, bro.
Good question because Bronze, bro, I haven't even really thought about that. If we're gonna do a reaction or if
it's close. 19 days. 19 days.
Yeah, we gotta get that figured out. Yeah, we gotta get that figured out. You know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Put a poll up, put it up for 12 hours and see how it goes, and then use that, you know, on whatever decision we make.
Yeah, we'll figure that out, bro. All right, bro. With that being said, bro, we've been on for 1 hour and 31 minutes. I thought we was gonna do a short-hour show. My boy Bronze came through. Jason came through. Jason is a part of the family now. This is how we're gonna be checking out. I don't know when we're gonna do the next show. Hopefully, it might be the day after tomorrow. Like, you know, we're trying to, you know, bring more content to you guys because it doesn't make no sense to get 1,000 subscribers and to get monetized and to start doing less content. You know what I'm saying? The idea is to do content. So we'll figure that out. And we'll get back to you guys. Thanks to all of the Patreon members, all the subscribers. Subscribe to Bronze on Twitter. Subscribe to Jason Aponte, 103 on Twitter. Y'all know where I'm at on Twitter. Stay at Frank 49ers, man. We appreciate you guys.
Dre, real quick, we need to do that giveaway, man. We hit that 1K. The Brian Young.
All right, so the next show we're gonna do the giveaway of the Bryant Young authenticated signed picture. I think that'll be good for Saturday.
And Saturday's Grant's gonna be on. You know how that show is like, and we're gonna like. We're so close, man. Like that's what I keep thinking about. Like we're just so close, man.
Straight up.
So we'll do the giveaway on Saturday. And we'll let you guys know on Twitter. When's the next day? We'll do a show whether it's the day after tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Well, Saturdays for sure. So we'll let y'all know what's going on. And with that being said, Bronze, man, take us out with that KB exit, bro.
All right, man. I know you don't see it for some reason, but here we go.
I do.
San Francisco 49ers. You're watching the Niners All Day Show. What up, Bronze? What up, Dre? Let's get it, man. Yee.
I see it.
Yeah. All right. We out.